What's up, guys? It is James, and I want to hit you with some basic concepts for shooting video. So let's get started. So I'm in my truck, and I shoot a lot of video in my truck, and I've got another cell phone I use as a GPS. And so there's my cell phone holder here, and I'm gonna basically mount my phone on this cell phone holder. So I'll let you see it. It's a $10 clip you can get from Amazon, right? So just like anybody else that puts their cell phone in their vehicle. Okay, so now I can shoot video. Now there's some concepts I want you to know. First of all, you can begin shooting vlogs and videos with just a cell phone. You can dedicate a cell phone to it, so you might look on your local Facebook groups and find out you can get a cell phone for $40 that isn't turned on as far as cell service, and you can use it as a separate phone to shoot. So that's what this one is. This is actually my old cell phone, but I have gone on local Facebook pages and bought cell phones before that are used and put them into the mix. And so you can absolutely shoot high quality, high def video with a cell phone. Now, a couple of things there. You want to make sure, let me plug this thing in, you want to make sure that you've got a 1080p shooting cell phone. So most cell phones nowadays will shoot full high def, which is 1080p, and at least 720p. And so, that's the level of quality of video that you're shooting. So when you're shooting, you definitely want to shoot 1080p. The higher quality, the better. But any cell phone will do. I've been doing this for years. I just haven't known how to put it all together. Now I know how to put it all together. So you've seen me walking through airport, shooting, hey, I'm here at whatever run kind of videos all the time. Okay? Next thing you need to know about quality of shooting with a cell phone is I'm using a front-facing camera. I can look at myself right now. I'm looking at myself right now. See me looking at myself? I'm not looking at the camera. And so it's very distracting for somebody when you're shooting and you're looking at yourself rather than at the camera. You see that? So looking at myself, looking at the camera, I'm dead on. I can point at you and you're going to know I'm talking directly. I'm looking into your soul, son! But you want to not shoot with the selfie camera like I'm doing right now. You want to shoot with the camera that's on the other side, because the camera that's on the other side is a much higher quality camera than the camera that's on this side. You understand what I'm saying? This side camera is like, 2 megapixels. This side camera is like 12 megapixels. It's a huge difference in quality. Also, if you shoot using this camera, you won't find yourself constantly doing this because it's very distracting. You want to look at yourself rather than looking at the camera. I've had to train myself to look at the camera. See how I'm looking at the camera? I'm right talking to you, and that's very important, okay? So, get yourself a cell phone. If you probably already have a smartphone, that'll do just fine. And get yourself a camera on the other side, not a camera on this side, okay? Make sense? Next thing is you need a tripod, okay? You can get a tripod for $10 on Amazon. You can probably go and find one. Matter of fact, if you put it out there that you're looking for one, maybe someone will give it to you. And then you get these little clamps that go on top of the tripod to hold a cell phone. Okay, so that's a little screw-in clamp. It's 99 cents on Amazon, and it will hold your cell phone in place on the tripod so that you can shoot yourself with the front-facing camera. Okay, makes sense? So I've been doing that for years with Disciple Moments. I simply have a tripod mounted in my office with a cell phone camera, and I shoot very high-quality, decent video, and it's been good enough for years. Okay, so you don't have to have a ton of gear. All you need is a cell phone and a tripod. Okay, and I've been using the microphone from my camera, I've been using the microphone from my phone for years, and I've shot excellent quality video. So right now, my cell phone is this far from my mouth, hanging here in the truck, and you can hear me just fine, especially when you're in a quiet environment. So you don't need a separate microphone, but if you want a separate microphone, I've posted a link on this page for a lavalier mic that simply plugs in. Where does it plug in? It plugs in right there in the sound hole, and then it's got a 3-foot cord, and it goes up here, and you can have a lavalier. I don't think it's necessary. I still shoot with my cell phone like I'm doing now without a lavalier, but it can help in certain circumstances. So that's another $10 part. Okay, so we got a $10 tripod and a $10 lavalier mic. Okay, makes sense? Now, here's the most important part. So number one is the cell phone and the tripod, okay? Here's the most important part. teach yourself, train yourself on how to shoot video. So I've put some links up there. Peter McKinnon is an HBO videographer who's extremely helpful. He's taught me a lot through his YouTube channel. There's other guys out there. Just Google how to vlog, and you'll read tons and tons and tons of vlogs, and you can watch video on how to shoot very well. Number 1, not shaky. Number 2, good light. Number 3, shoot in the highest quality available to you. So right now I'm shooting with this front-facing camera, or I'm sorry, whatever kind, what side is that? Anyway, I'm shooting with the wrong side. I should be shooting with this camera. Shoot in the highest quality available to you, have good lighting, and don't be shaky. So I'm mounted right now, rather than driving along, bouncing along like this, taking video of myself, okay? So, if you have a cell phone with a good quality camera that's facing you, and you got a tripod, you've got 90% of that covered. Now let's talk about lighting. So right now I'm in natural lighting. It's wonderful, but if I was in the dark, you wouldn't be able to see me, okay? So it's very critical to have good lighting. This is where I went ahead and spent $50 on what's called a limo studio. In other words, you can pack it all into like this little thing and carry it with you. $50 on lighting. Now, I, for years, have used those, they're also $50, by the way, which is like an office light. So it's like a stick, you know, a stand that's 6 feet tall, and it has 3 lights that you can aim on it, you know, and they just aim, and I would use that for lighting, and it worked just fine. But if you spend $50 instead on proper studio lighting, you will be amazed at the benefit. And so I posted a link about proper studio lighting. I posted a link of what we bought on Amazon. Again, it's $50, and it has 3 lights. One that goes over here, one that goes over here, and one that goes behind you. And they've got diffusers, so big umbrellas on them. And for $50, I massively increased the lighting. I also use a hair light, so it's a light like this big that is actually on a magnet on my ceiling. And it's just an LED light. It costs $40, I think, and it shines down on the head, so it gives you additional lighting. So the 3 lights, one on this side and one on this side, those prevent there from being shadows that are distracting for the viewer, okay? And then the one behind you separates you from the background. And so it's very, very critical because it prevents you from looking muddy when you have that additional light there, okay? And so if you're gonna spend the money on lighting, do it right. Now the last thing I wanna mention, so we got cell phone on tripod, so we're not shaky. We've got the highest quality camera that we're using on there. We're using the microphone on the cell phone. And then we've got educating ourselves about how to do things, and that involves lighting. So you got to educate yourself. There's lots of YouTube videos on how to light yourself up if you're vlogging. The third thing is a space for shooting. So right now I'm shooting in my truck. You've seen lots of videos of me driving around in my truck. I've got a space for shooting. So for instance, you don't see a bunch of junk behind me. This bag, there you go. That bag is gone. You don't see a bunch of junk behind me. It's not cluttered. I'm in my truck. There's a Disciple logo behind me, and this is an excellent space for shooting. You can hear me okay. I know the truck is loud. I'm on the freeway. I'm driving, but you can hear me okay. There's good lighting around me, and I don't have a bunch of clutter. So if I had a ton of junk up here, people are going to disrespect you for having clutter. They're not going to be as focused on what you're saying if you have clutter. So this is a good space. I've got a studio. So all my studio is my office, where I've cleared one wall and hung up a fabric graphic. And so that fabric graphic is absolutely something that we will pay to make for you. It's about $100. And if you will commit to shooting regular video that expounds the gospel, then we will pay to put the fabric on the wall behind you. You just literally tack it up, and it can have anything you want printed on it. It's awesome. And then we will pay for that $50 studio lighting as well, okay? So you need a studio space, and literally I have an 8x8 wall. That's my studio space. I don't even use probably but about 5x4 of that actual wall for shooting. And I've cleared everything out of it, and I've got about 5 to 7 feet of space in front of that wall where I can mount my tripod, I can mount my lighting. I've got everything there so that when I'm in that studio space, it looks like I'm in a legit studio. And it's literally an 8-foot by 5-foot space that I'm using to shoot. So it's not a lot of space. So you need to pick an area. It could be your kitchen. You could pick your kitchen. You could pick anywhere you want. It could be your garage, but you need to control what's inside of this frame. If that is in control, then the rest of it can look like junk. See? how do I show you this? See, junk. That's junk down there. There's junk over there. There's junk in my back seat. But as long as, oh boy, come on camera, work for me. As long as what's in the frame is in control and looks good, that's all that matters. That's all that matters. That's all your viewers are going to see, okay? So, let's review. We need a space. It needs to be a quiet space. You need to be able to get away from the kids. I shoot after hours, so I'm shooting my Disciple Moment videos after 10 p.m. because the kids are awake making noise before that. It needs to be a quiet space. It needs to be a space that's at least big enough to put your tripod in front of you and be in that space. I like to stand up now. I used to like to sit down. Either one works just as well. You get a little more action, a little more activity if you're standing up, which is cool. And then, so you need your space, you need your lighting, and you need a phone with a good camera, and bang, you're done. On a tripod, okay? Not shaky, good camera on the phone, good lighting, and a little bit of space, and you're done. It's that simple, and you can shoot. And it's interesting to people, and they're gonna watch, and the Lord is gonna bless you in what you're doing. It is very, very important to realize that God wants to reach people, and that is why I'm 100% willing to sow into your ministry. God has given you a unique thing to say. He has put you in a place and given you an audience, and I am gonna help promote you. God is gonna promote you. He's the one that's doing this. It's not about your glory. This is not about the glory of James Johnson, James Disciple Johnson, Disciple Christian Motorcycle Club. It's about reaching people and preventing them from going to hell and reaching their families and their children. And so the word that God has given you is powerful enough that he wants people to hear it and see it and focus on it and be able to watch it again and rewind. And it's important that you do this. So God bless you. I hope you're getting what I'm saying. If you have questions, post them in the comments below, and I'll definitely try to get them answered. God bless you guys.